We have a quorum, so this time I'll call to order the regular board meeting of the Port Authority for the City of St. Louis, held on August 8th, 2024, via Zoom. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Williams,
Present.
Commissioner Kay,
Present.
Commissioner Mason,
Here.
Commissioner Miller,
Present.
Chair McBride.
Present. And as we have a quorum, we will next take up the approval of minutes for a meeting held on July 11, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Kay,
Commissioner Williams, you're muted, I believe.
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Motion passes and the minutes are approved. All right, now we're going to take up resolution 24 PT 24, adopting the updates to SLDC procurement policy for, let's see, these are professionals other than architects, engineers, and surveyors. James, you're going to walk us through this?
I am. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, so good morning, commissioners. You get, as the first orders of business, two thrilling procedural resolutions. This one relates to the Port Authority's procurement of non-architect, engineer, or surveyor professional services. I'll have a second resolution addressing those services shortly. In brief, SLDC back in late 2021 adopted a revised policy for procuring these types of professional services. And all the development boards subsequently adopted that same resolution to ensure consistency across agencies. SLDC revised its procurement policy last month, primarily to recognize the manner in which professional services with contracts over $250,000 are procured. And so we are accordingly taking these to the other development boards to adopt similar revisions, again, to maintain consistency across agencies. So with that, I am available if anyone has any questions.
And could you just, I know that we have seen a red line of this, but if you could just kind of hit the high points of what the changes are, whether they're adding more levels of review or removing levels of review.
Yeah, certainly. They are adding, it's actually recognizing the existing process through which we review these high dollar value contracts. You'll see it includes an additional layer of review. So for contracts that are in excess of $250,000, they'll first go through an internal review committee composed of agency staff, and then they will go before the review of a substantial awards committee that makes the actual recommendation to the development board. So there are opportunity for many folks to put eyes on this and make sure that the procurement is as open and fair as possible.
And this is for typically for contracts of $250,000 and above. Is that the demarcation point?
Correct. Yes, there is a slight change for contracts that are 250,000 or under. And that is simply to give the executive director more discretion in terms of who was appointed to the internal review committee.
Very good. Any questions from the commissioners on this resolution? And this will just bring us up to par with all the other development boards and the SLDC itself, correct, James?
Correct. Yes.
All right. If there are no questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution 24 PT 24.
So moved. A second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye. The motion passes and the resolution is approved. And James, from now we'll take up sister resolution number 24 PT 25 for the policy relating to architects, engineers, and surveyors.
Okay, so 2 of 2. Very similar. SLDC recently adopted a policy for procurement of architect, engineer, or surveyor professional services. The reason those 3 types of services are distinct and excluded from the policy that the commission just revised is that there are further rules both in federal statute and in Missouri relating to procurement of those services. It is a purely qualification-based selection process. So the agency is not allowed to consider or ask for an estimate of cost in its initial review. So the revised policy here, or sorry, the policy that the commission would adopt here tracks SLDC's recently adopted policy for architect, engineer, and surveyor services, which is consistent with the Federal Brooks Act and the state of Missouri's Mini Brooks Act, as well as the port's procurement requirements under Chapter 68 of the revised statutes in Missouri.
Hey, that's
And,
what happens when you have a good lobbyist. So, right, Chris? Any
Absolutely.
question? Good morning, Chris. Any questions for James on this policy with the added context of the overlay of federal and state requirements? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24 PT 25.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Williams.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Kay,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye. The motion passes and the resolution is approved. Thank you, James. All right, now Susan's going to walk us through Resolution 24 PT 26 relating to BPS permit for ARTCO. Susan?
Sure. Good morning. ARTCO is ADM's, Archer Daniels Midlands in-house barge line. And ADM has a grain elevator, which you can see in the upper right of this picture on our North Riverfront. The black blot in the bottom left is the Hall Street Coal Yard. And ADM is trying to get more product through that grain elevator. So they've increased their fleeting, they've increased their rail service. And what they're asking for at the moment is more fleeting along in that blue area that you see. There's actually, looks like there's a couple barges parked there. But harvest is fast approaching, and so the river gets really busy. And we've negotiated a lease with them, but it takes a while for that process to play out. And so we're asking permission to go to the Board of Public Service and ask and recommend to BPS that they give ADM a permit to go ahead and start mooring there so that they can pick up the grain haul, the grain harvest, so that they can keep stuff moving. So the resolution before you is to allow us to recommend to BPS a permit so that ADM or ARTCO can get started while the lease process plays out. The lease has been negotiated and it's partway through its evolution.
Susan, that lease, or excuse me, the permit would be for $65 a linear foot, and that's in line with our updated policies. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
And then what's the term of the lease that is being negotiated?
It's a 25-year lease with a 10 initial And 3 5-1-year mutual, 3 5-year mutually agreeable extensions. It's our sort of traditional lease structure.
And we'll be bringing that back for approval.
And we'll be bringing that back for approval.
Sure. On the, and so I know it takes a while to get these through the board and everything, but is that essentially giving an extra year to the lessee?
No,
The aggregate, the permit and the lease?
no, they overlap. It's just sort of the first year of the lease.
Oh, okay.
Any questions for Susan by the commissioners?
I just want to make sure I'm understanding. They want, in order to get going and get moving, the agreement has to be made, but while the agreement is being made, they just want to get started. Am I understanding that right? Until all the
That-
paperwork is done.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
All right, thank you.
Any other question? Hearing none, and entertain a motion to approve resolution 24 PT 26.
So moved. Can we use previous roll call?
If it's seconded, yes, ma'am.
Second,
Um,
Properly moved and seconded, request for previous roll. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. Thank you, Susan. All
Thank you.
right, now we're into open agenda. Do we have anything in open agenda?
I
I
don't.
don't believe so.
Mm.
If there's nothing else before this body, then the next meeting we have scheduled is September 12th, 2024. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
I'd
moved.
like to, real quick, I'd like to say happy birthday to Commissioner Williams. If I can see something behind her. I don't know when it was.
Thank you. It was
Ah.
last Friday. They have balloons everywhere in here, so I got tired of popping balloons, and so I forgot those were on the back wall. So
Oh.
thank you.
thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
What is it?
mine was Saturday.
Oh,
Oh,
happy
okay.
Oh.
birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Well, happy birthday to you as well,
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Judge Miller.
So is this 25 for both of you?
Yes,
Okay.
only 25.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna guess. Outstanding. Well, good eagle eyes there, Commissioner K.
I know.
All right. Well, anything else? We have I think we're moved. I'm gonna second it. And so at this time, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much. And again, happy birthday to both our commissioners.
Yes, happy
We will be in
Thank
touch in
you.
September.
Thank you.
Okay,
And many
Bye-bye.
more.
Have a
Many
Bye.
good one. Yes.
Thank you.
more. Bye-bye.
Bye.